guys, it's Tyler here from Revvin Reviews. We're going to be talking today on Car Talk about two different topics. The first of which being the Dodge Demon. We're going to update you a little bit on this information, as well as the new Porsche 911 that's supposed to come out in 2020. We're going to give you guys some great information about that, so stay tuned for later in the video. So first off, the Dodge Demon. There's been all these videos. There's these little teaser trailers that are being released up until the New York Auto Show, and this Dodge Demon is the stuff. It's the crazy car. It's going to be a car that throws the Dodge Hellcat way out of the water. I think it might even be competitive against the SRT Viper. Maybe not as track focused as that, but I think it's going to be fairly track focused towards that perspective. And this being said, from what I've done in my research, Dodge has released a couple statements, as well as Motor Trend. They posted an article. If you guys want to see that, the link's going to be in the description below. But anyways, Dodge posted this article, or Motor Trend rather, posted this article online, and it states that there's going to be only one seat, so just the driver's seat. It's still going to be a left-hand drive for the US, but it's only going to be one seat. And it also is going to have no radio and no air conditioning, which is crazy because, I mean, you're going to be paying probably close towards $100,000 after dealer markup and all that stuff for this car, which is insane. But you're only going to get one seat out of it, and bare minimum. So it's going to be a crazy car. It's kind of like a 430 Scuderia, bare minimums. And then it's also going to be extremely track focused, as the previous statements also point towards. So according to Motor Trend, they're saying that the Dodge Demon is going to be actually extremely track focused. That from the factory, you're going to be able to decide whether you want it to be an actual track focused, like a circuit focused, if you want it to be drag focused, or if you want it to be street focused. So they're going to mess with the suspension for you and give you a lot more different features for different things. If you want it drag focused, it's probably going to be just to go in a straight line. They might not handle it with the suspension as much, but if you want it track focused, they're gonna mess with the suspension a little bit more and kind of give it towards your liking. I believe that there is going to be allocations for this car. It's being released here in the New York Auto Show, but I do think that it's going to be a very limited production car from the statistics of it, at least. Now, we don't want to stay on that topic too long, so without further ado, we're going to switch over to the 911. Now, the Porsche 911 is by far one of the greatest cars ever created in the history of the car world. The Porsche 911's lasted since back in the 60s, and it's continuing to last through this day. This is actually the 8th generation that they're coming out with the Porsche 911, which is insane. I don't know of any other car that's done that. I don't think there is any other car that's done that, at least sports cars wise. But the Porsche 911 is coming out with the 8th generation, and there was some spy shots taken. You can see that there's a lot more changes to it. You can, if you reviewed or looked over any pictures of a regular this generation Porsche 911 and previous generations, you're able to tell the slight differences. I mean, it obviously carries along the same sort of body feel. They aren't changing the body drastically like a new model, but they are changing little bits and pieces to make it a better performing car, which is great. So supposedly it's supposed to be released by 2020, so they're saying either 2019 or 2020 is when it's going to be released. And I don't know if they're meaning it's going to be released to the public, or if it's going to be released just through a motor show, and then it'll be released a couple years later. So these spy shots have really shown us some things. Also through what Porsche stated in different articles and such, they actually are saying that it's going to have a 3.0, the brand new Porsche 3.0 turbo V6, which is a great engine supposedly. I haven't seen it on any cars yet. However, I do believe that it's going to be a great performing car. And it's also, this is where it gets kind of interesting. So a couple years ago, the Mission E was released, and obviously the Porsche 918 has been released, and it's already a beast of a car. But anyways, the Mission E was released, and this 911 that we're seeing in these pictures is actually showing some features the same as the Mission E. Now, the Mission E, don't get me wrong, that's a sedan, totally different car. But this Porsche, the front looks like the Mission E, which you guys can see that obviously, and the hood and the lights are what really stand out like Mission E. Also, what people are rumoring actually, is that this new car that's coming out, it might have one of two things, maybe even both. So obviously it's going to have the V6, the 3.0, but it might have an additional option to where you can have the hybrid powertrain, like sort of like the 918, maybe a little bit different, but you might be able to have the hybrid powertrain, and you also might be able to get the all electric powertrain. We saw this not through Porsche, but actually through Mercedes back when they released the Mercedes SLS. They actually released the Mercedes SLS E-Drive or E-Series, and it was a crazy car. It was crazy fast and stuff, but it had a very, very low miles, so or very, very low mile range, so you couldn't drive it very far, which kind of stunk. I mean, you could only drive it like 15 or 20 miles and then it would die. So yeah, there's that. And I think that this is going to be great. I think this is going to be mind-blowing. Actually, somebody from Porsche has stated to Motor Trend that that the 911 rather is going to have to come to the times, is what he said. And it's going to have to like revamp itself in the area of hybrid powertrains. So who knows? This generation, the 8th generation, with it being a whole new generation, they might release a hybrid powertrain, which in that case, that's going to be a supercar beater. That's probably going to even be beating some of the hypercars of today. I mean, it's inevitable what the things are going to happen. So also we see a lot more body changes. Like I said, there's a more slanted hood in the front, pointing more towards the Mission E look. There's also a wider rear end, which tells us, I mean, you see through the Dodge Demon that we just talked about a few minutes ago, it tells us that there's going to be wider tires. You don't just put a wider rear end in if you don't need it. So there's going to be wider tires on it, which is great for more traction, which means there might even be more power. But anyways, there's also going to be larger side vents. You can see those in the pictures as well, kind of discreetly. They're not necessarily as pronounced, but there's a lot wider of the side vents, which brings more air into the turbos to cool them off, and also to the engine to keep that cool as well. And there's a longer wheelbase from what it looks like. People have been stating that the wheelbase looks a lot longer, which is good for handling and stuff like that. And then also, this is the cool part. The back of it looks like, I don't want to go too far, but it looks kind of like the Chiron, the Bugatti Chiron that just was released last year. It has that long brake light that goes from side to side of the car, which looks stunning. I love the way that it looks, and I think that a lot of cars are going to be coming out with that soon. But it has that, and then also they revamped the spoiler. I mean, a lot of the models of the Porsche 911 have had an active spoiler. This one also does, and instead of it just spanning like the 911R with the short spoiler that's maybe 36 inches wide, it spans from side to side of the car, from the beginning of the taillight to the beginning of the taillight on the other side, which is great as well. And then there's also a couple more updated features on this car. I don't mean to run my mouth too long, but there's updated features. It talks about the carbon ceramic brakes that we can see faintly. They're Porsche specific, great carbon ceramic brakes that are good for cooling and stopping. And then we also saw a new exhaust on the car that might be a new exhaust for the street and for production, but it might be just an exhaust from the factory just to keep it quiet and stuff of that sort. So with that, I want to ask you guys a couple questions. So first off, from the Dodge Demon, would you buy the Dodge Demon now that it's stated to have one seat? I mean, I like enjoying stuff with other people. I don't like just enjoying something for myself. So I think I would buy it potentially, if it wasn't super expensive. But as of it being only a one-seater, I don't think I could buy that with one seat. So I would have to honestly opt out of that one. However, for the Porsche 911, what do you guys think of this? I know we haven't heard technical specs of it or anything like that. We don't know horsepower and stuff of that sort. But what do you guys think of the design? What do you guys think of the new bodywork, maybe even the new drivetrains? What are your guys' personal opinions? Go ahead and leave those in the comments below, or even share it to our social media for us, and we'll be sure to respond to you and maybe even put you in the next video for for your ideas and your opinions. So with that, I want to leave you guys with that. Please make sure to tell us what you guys think, and have a great day, guys.